Alright, good evening everyone and welcome back to IG8Live Esports with Midwest F1 Esports League Division 4, and it is for round 5 for the Dutch Grand Prix, getting through qualifying at the moment, and I think we should be able to see some lap times get in here very soon, as quite a few cars are already on hot laps getting through. I'm trying to switch on to someone else. We got not sure who's going to be getting the first lap in, but let's see how this goes. Should be some interesting laps coming in very early off in the session, with it being just a short qualifying session as well. Already down just below 15 minutes remaining of a total of 18 minutes. So let's see, we got an Alfa Romeo on a set of track, probably having some problems there, but let's see what's going to happen. Static currently with a 110.8, now down to second radar. Guitar Maniac 110.4. I think we're going to stick around most of the 110, 111s, possibly see some 108s or 109s. We'll see if I get to the 108s maybe by the end of the session. How depends how well this actually goes. Where is dissection on track? I think he's getting through sector 3 right about now. I think we'll stick on this for the moment, see what's going to happen. We can see a mix of strategies as well in terms of mediums versus softs at the moment. Of course, no one's going to be trying this on the hards. To be started with this race might be a two-stop strategy, mostly from what we might have happened here, being it's going to be about 36 laps or so, probably 30 something laps along the track if I remember correctly. When we do get around to the race session, we'll have a look at that. I think it was in the quality, but I didn't pay too much attention to it. But either way, let's just have a look and see what the lap times are currently looking like. Dissection goes second fastest right now, 110.8. 410 slow on what Guitar Maniac there had. He's currently holding on to P1. We got Kitten Petter here up to second now, 110.6, 2 tenths faster than what Dissection did. Guitar Maniac though in the Alpine holding on to provisional pole here at the moment to get started on this race very soon. We'll see if that time is going to hold all the way through the qualifying session as it is right now. Static Hazard down to fourth, was probably one of the first drivers to get a lap time in. We got Grumpy here into 5th, 110.9. Reska 6, currently 111.1. Disgruntled Muppet down to 7, 111.2 so far. Texas Rooster in the next Alfa Romeo down into 8, 111.9. Morfola in 9th, 112.7. 113.7 for Cobain at the moment in the Haas. Trying another lap, which I think he invalidated. We're getting back in lap to the pits right now. We'll see how the rest of this session is going to go. Switching on to someone else currently running. B7 Racing here, getting back into the pits as well, so waiting for somebody. So we got Tim Lee in the Aston Martin currently on an outlap, getting through sector 3. Should be getting started on this current qualifying lap here right about now. I think he will take an on-board run as he gets around that final turn onto the start finish straight. And now he's going to get started on his qualifying lap, getting straight into turn 1. As you can see, a very short run down there, and it's going to be very tight with quite a few cars trying to gain positions through this sector of the track as well. Sector 1 very narrow, always a bit curvy as you get through here at Netherlands. So going to be quite interesting with the race start itself. We'll see if we're going to be having a safety car, probably maybe just a VSC, or probably just maybe just a yellow flag. Just depends on how good this opening lap will go for the session. At the moment, we got our full grid of 20 drivers. Not sure how the other divisions are doing this evening. Didn't get to check in on those, but hopefully we have a full grid on each of them running on through at the moment. Looking pretty good here, and now Tim Lee kind of loses the car. Keeps it from DNFing the session, but we'll have to try this once again. We're going to switch on back to someone who else is currently running a lap more fully here in the Mercedes. Think he's about to finish another lap here, or possibly this is an in lap. We'll see what the case is going to be, but so far so good. At least half of the grid with lap times in all the way up to Cobain, waiting for the next half of the grid, as most of them I think are currently on outlaps here. One driver though, Tono there, will not be able to get a lap in. Already at the end of the session, pretty early on. I'm not sure if he had qualifying ban. I'm not really paying too much attention to that, but let's see what happens before the session comes to an end with the rest of the 9 drivers yet to make lap times in. We're on with Freeman here in the next Alpine. His team is currently on provisional pole for the start of the Dutch Grand Prix, and we're waiting to see where Freeman goes at the end of this current lap. Getting through sector 1 right about now. We're hoping to see possibly some purple sectors here. If he can achieve that, we'll see what the case is going to be, but so far so good as he gets on through this. Hopefully doesn't invalidate the lap. Really does need to get a good lap in somewhere to match what his teammate currently has, a 110.4, 2 tenths faster than Kitten Petter currently, who is in second there with his 110.6. We got Dissection still down to third at 110.8. Static Hazard in the McLaren, he's down in the fourth with a 110.898, just about 500 of a second off the time of what Dissection has. So not too far, pretty close off in the first few at the top of the grid there. So hopefully looking forward to an exciting and very close start in terms of racing between these cars as we get it through that. Through sector 3, this Alpine driver is going to go. Let's see what the lap time is going to look like for Freeman as he finishes off with this. Looks like Static Hazard is finished here from qualifying already, and there goes the Alpine, losing it on the final turn. Saves the car from going into the barriers though, so we're going to have to get back into the pits and try that again. A pretty good save from his end, so hopefully is able to get a good lap in before the end of the session. Still has 10 minutes to get this done, as is the rest of the drivers on track, and for those who made a lap already, they do have enough time to actually get another lap in if needed at this point here. So let's see what's going to happen. So far, Guitar Maniac still holding on to provisional pole here. 11 drivers, 12 drivers now currently with lap times in. Kitten Better still in second, Dissection still third, Static Hazard holding on to fourth. We got Highways going up into fifth right now, just got that time at 110.9, pretty high up on the grid at the moment, so looking good for the start of this race so far. We got Grumpy down to 6th, Tim Lee in 7th, he finally got a lap time in, and trying to get back to the pits there I think, but a pretty good lap time at 111.0. Top of the board with the 111s I would say so far, but PP7 not too bad of a position to be starting this race in. Could gain quite a few good positions on the opening lap. We'll see how well it goes. Reska down in 8th, Disgruntled Muppet down in 9th, DDL down in 10th, Silent Banshee now 11th with a 111.4 as he currently has it. His teammate just a bit higher up, his teammate is Highways up into 5th there. We got Grim Reefer in 12th, Texas Rooster down to 13, Morfola down to 14, Kobe now down to 15th with the lap time that he currently has. Gonna have to try and get a better time in. Where is B7 Race? I think he's got a lap in the Ferrari. He's now into 16th on the grid at 115.6. Needs to try and improve that lap if possible at this point here. Crustier T down in 20th on the grid, trying to have a look on what's going on with his lap here, trying to get started with it right about now. So on board with the Mercedes driver getting through sector 1 on the track here. This is what the lap time will look like. We're down to 8.5 minutes remaining for this qualifying session with Midwest F1 Division 4, and so far it's looking quite good with the lap times. We haven't seen a 109 in this session as well yet, but we're pretty close after actually seeing that. Kitten Petter now up into provisional pole with a 110.1. He's only a 10th off of getting down into the 109. So let's see what's going to happen with the remainder of qualifying. We still got a lot of time left in this session. Anything could happen. I'm just waiting to see what these drivers are going to do. If we can have some faster lap times possibly coming, but we're sticking around those 110s and 111s around the track here mostly right about now. And it's still looking quite competitive between the drivers here for Division 4 to get started this race. So we're looking forward to a pretty interesting start though. Dutch Grand Prix always tends to have a bit of contact between cars getting through those first few turns on the first sector of the track. Got a Williams on the side there, probably having some trouble. I think he just retired off the session as well. Probably was Grumpy, I'm not sure who that was, but let's see what's going to happen. Still on the Crustier T, finishing off this current lap here. Makes it across that final turn and onto the start finish straight. Gets across the line, goes 15th on the grid, just above his teammate there at 112.0, only a 10th ahead. Let's see what the Mercedes guys can do at the end of this. They still got some time to try and get a better lap in if possible. Freeman here in the Alpine still trying to get another lap in on into sector 2 now. See what the lap is going to look like at the end of this. And also welcome to all of you who are currently joining us on the stream live here. Welcome guys, hope you guys enjoy the race and the commentary going along with it as well. Please do remember to leave a like on the stream. I appreciate you guys doing that very much. And don't forget to subscribe to us here on IG8Live Esports. And remember, we are always live on the YouTube channel, Twitch and Facebook as well. All links are in the description of this video. Also the link to our channel Discord is in the description. Do join on for much more information when it comes to our commentary streams. We'll be having quite a few more things be adding on in the upcoming few weeks, and a few more changes to the schedule as well as we get into next week with a few more leagues starting up their current season. Okay, so I think I'm going to try to see where is... Oh, we got Mopower Cowboy up into third on the grid right about now. 110.7 from him in the Williams, and he's doing pretty well. I think his teammate there is probably Grumpy down in 7th. So Williams not doing too bad so far, but Kitten Petter holding on to that provisional pole on another outlap right now. Did it on the softs. I think we'll have a look at the qualifying tires in just a bit. Let's leave it because I don't think it's on best. It's just on current tires I think that they're using on track here. So we just take tires off for now. We don't really need that on there. See what's happening as they finish this off. I'll possibly just leave it on. That's provided a bit of information. Let's do best, possibly. Leave it. No, actually, let's leave it on that. Dissection looks like he's on the, where is he on? He's on the set of softs going right now, and I think he did his previous lap on the mediums from what we just saw when I was switching through the graphic there on screen. So about to get started on a lap here. Let's have a look and see how this current lap is going to go for him. So getting through the forest sector right now. Let's actually just leave the map on screen. I just want to see if he has any purple sectors he gets through this lap. Trying to get onto provisional pole here in that AlphaTauri. Let's see if he's able to pull this off. Oh, and I just noticed Big Pack following us on Twitch. Thank you very much for doing that. Really wasn't paying too much attention to what's going on the laptops, and I was just watching on the streams, and just actually noticed that there. So I didn't really keep too much with the notifications that were coming in. Alright, so we're still on with dissection here, getting through into sector 3 now, sorry. I just got a purple sector 2, getting better with the fastest lap now, 109.5, so that's going to be a bit tough to beat. Let's bring graphics on screen and see what we're looking at. Dissection down to 4th on the grid right about now, still holding on to that. Not a bad position to be starting the Dutch Grand Prix in, but I think he might want a better lap than that as he's about to get across the line here pretty soon. Let's see if he improves this lap at 110.841. Does improve just by about a 10. Goes up to 3rd on the grid for the start. Not a bad position still. Quite an improvement. Not easy getting that 10th more just to get a bit faster up. Soft tires I think did help him quite a bit there, though of course he's going to have to start the race on that. Let's see how that works out. More power down to 4th now. Now down to 5th actually, because Highways now goes up into 3rd on the grid. Pushes Dissection back down to 4th, so pretty good lap from Highways. A 110.523 is literally just about 700 of a second faster than Dissection here, so looking pretty competitive out in front with those 110s that we have. Getting better there at 109.5. Pretty interesting lap from him, pretty impressive lap from him, as he's going to hold on to provisional pole with that. We got 3 minutes 14 seconds remaining here in the qualifying session before we do get onto that race session, which we're all looking forward to very much. So wait just a bit for that right now. Trying to have a look who else. I think Freeman's still trying to get a lap in. Let's see, is he gonna get a lap in? He does get a lap in now. A 111.1. Maybe he's camera shy, who knows, because he was not getting a lap in when he was on the stream here. But still into 11th, somewhere in the midfield of the grid for the start of this race, so not a bad position to be in. Getting better though, pretty impressive lap from him. Guitar Maniac there up into 2nd, got Highways 3rd, Dissection in 4th, More Power in 5th, Static 6th, we got Grumpy in 7th, Tim Lee up to 8th, Disgruntled Muppet in 9th, Ruska in 10th, that's top 10 so far. Freeman just below that in 11th, DDL currently 12th, Silent Banshee in 13th, we got Grim Reaper there in 14th, Texas Rooster in 15th, Morfola holding on to 16th right now, trying to get another lap in. I think let's have a quick look at that. I think he is on track on a fast lap there, getting through in the Mercedes. Got Crustier T currently out of the session already, 17th, Cobain in 18th, and I think that's a Mercedes out of qualifying and quite heavily damaged there as well. Hopefully team gets that set in time for the race. The B7 Racing in 19th, Tono there 20th, pretty early off in the session he was out, so let's see how that's going to hold off. We got Kid Pedro getting on for another outlap here right now. He's going to try this once more, wants to make sure he holds on to that provisional pole for the start of this race apparently, and with just a bit of time left here, there goes Dissection getting in quite an interesting spin, saving that car from the end of the session still. So how much time do we have left in the session? Not a lot of time left right about now, so guys are going to be trying to get another lap in as much as they can. On with Tim Lee here. Is he getting back into the pits? Yes, he is. Where's Resk on track? Not on a fast lap. Silent Banshee, where is he on track? Getting through Sector 1 there, I think. Let's see if he's on for another fast lap here or not. At the moment, still looking pretty interesting in this qualifying section though. We got a lot of 110s and 111, some pretty close gaps to get started with this race. We're looking at possibly some exciting battles going on through the session as well. Hopefully they don't end badly, but you know, we do like to see some minor incidents here and there in the race. Does make it a bit more interesting, but then again, let's see how clean the drivers are going to be in terms of getting their overtakes done. Going to be an interesting race here at Netherlands for the Dutch Grand Prix, with these guys trying to fight through for position. Remember, it is pretty short lap around here, just over a minute 10 seconds or so average that as the qualifying lap goes. So the race pace time should be about a minute 13 possibly. And yeah, going to be quite interesting, I think, getting through the start of the race. We're going to try and keep an eye on most of the grid as we can, getting through that opening sector of the race. Opening for a sector, see how that goes. Okay, so cutting close down to the end of the session. I think we're over actually. I just actually noticed that there myself. So qualifying officially over here, guys. We're just in the overtime of anyone currently running a lap on track. And that's going to be it for the qualifying session here from Midwest F1 Division 4. We're going to get straight over to the race session in just a bit. Have a quick look at the qualifying grid. And then we'll go track it again during the formation lap. As the guys going to get around, just get everything up to temperature before we get started with this race. So I think that's it for qualifying. Just waiting for the guys to load over to the next part of the session. We'll have a look at the results, then get straight into the race session itself. Okay, so here we go. So on provisional pole for the start of the Dutch Grand Prix here with Division 4 from Midwest F1, we got Kitten Better there. Fastest time in the session, 109.389. Pretty impressive. Guitar Maniac there in second on the grid for the start of the race in the Alpine at 110.4. Highway starting third on the grid, 110.5. Dissection will start fourth. Mopower there in fifth. Disgruntled Puppet there in sixth. Static Hazard 7. Silent Banshee 8. Grumpy in 9. Tim Lee 10th. Reska 11th. We got Freeman there in 12th. We got DDL in 13. We got Grim Reefer there in 14. Texas Rooster 15. Murfola down in 16. Crustier T in 17. Cobain in 18. Team B7 Racing 19. Tono 28 on the grid. Didn't get to get a qualifying lap in. Unfortunately, goes off pretty early off in the session. Not sure if he had a ban something from the previous race, because worked on with that. But either way, let's head straight over into the race session. The formation lap. We'll have back a look at the starting grid, the tires that are currently on as well, and then get started with the Dutch Grand Prix. Okay, so on with the formation lap here right about now to get started with this race. Pretty soon, let's get our stats up on screen that we usually do need here. We're going to bring the tires on. Let's have a look at that with the starting grid as these guys get through the formation lap here, getting ready for a 36 lap race here for the Dutch Grand Prix. Division 4 we're on with, guys, and it is currently round 5 for the current championship that they're running here. We got our starting grid. Kitten Pedro there qualified for the fastest lap there in the short qualifying session. He will be starting P1 on the grid. Guitar Maniac starts second. We got Highways in the Alfa Romeo will start third. Dissection in the Alpha Tauri will start fourth. We got Mopower Cowboy in the Williams starting fifth. Disgruntled Muppets will start sixth. Static Hazard in seventh. We got Grumpy starting in eighth. Tim Lee will start 9th. Reska made it for 10th there and will start just ahead of Freeman, who's currently starting 11th on the grid. DDL will start 12th, Silent Banshee in 13. We got Grim Reaper starting 14th on the grid. Texas Rooster starting 15. We got the Mercedes guys 16th and 17th from Marfola and Crustier T. We got Cobain in 18. We got B7 Racing 19. Tono in 20th. And are we having any possible rain in this session? I'm not sure, guys. Honestly, I haven't been informed if we're having any rain here or not. It looks a bit cloudy on track, but who knows? We might be having maybe a bit of drizzle down to the end of the session somewhere, or maybe that might just be a bit of cloudy session and will possibly just be dry all the way through. Looks like it's going to be mostly a two-stop strategy for most of these guys. We do expect there might be a safety car or VSC at some point in the session. We'll see how that's going to go. Let's go into our final driver down at the back of the grid there in the Red Bull. That's Stono there. We're waiting for him as a final driver to get sorted back into his grid slot before the race is ready to get started. We need all 20 drivers back on track. He is quite a way back, which is going to cause Caden Petter out in front in P1 to be sitting on the grid for quite a bit before getting started, which really I don't think he wants to do. Tires are going to get just a bit cold, lose a bit of temperature for the race start, which he needs right now to get ahead of Guitar Maniac in turn 1. Just keep it there because Guitar Maniac definitely will be on him. I think we got all 20 cars on the grid, just about ready to get started this. We got Kid Peter P1, Guitar Maniac right here in second, Highways down at the side there behind in third. We're gonna keep this on position change. Let's have a look at that as these guys get started. So Kid Peter out in 1, bit of an equal start between them as they get on through with it. Let's see who gets a better run down into turn 1. And looks pretty clean so far as everyone's keeping a bit of space and a bit of distance between each other. We got an Alpine going just a bit wide as they all get on through with this. We still got Kid Peter leading. Guitar Maniac still holding on to second. Highway still in third. Mopower up into 4. Dissection has lost the position. He's down to 5th. Static Hazard gaining against Tim Lee, who's now up into 7th as well too. This Grumpy Muppet lost 2 positions off of that start, but still trying to hold on through there in P8 as they get on through. It's a pretty close gap. Less than a second between P1 and P2 out in front, trying to fight for that lead. Still, we're down into 4 with Mopower trying to hold on behind Highways. He has about a 310 gap to the Alfa Romeo in front of him, so still trying to get through. We got a yellow flag situation happening. Something's happened down at the back of the track. Tim Lee has been involved in some sort of incident. He's trying to get back going, hasn't been, but what's happened to Static is what I'm trying to have a look at right now. Where is he on track? The McLaren is off track, possibly having some damage and trying to get back going on track here. His teammate DDL is down to 19th as well, so McLaren not having the best possible start going on through. It's a virtual safety car for that incident that's got through there. Now we got a McLaren missing the entire front wing at the moment here, which is going to result in some pit stop. We got a Mercedes and Morfola out right now. Not sure what happened to him. Might have lost the rear, just getting wrong one of those turns, or possibly involved in an incident with another car. Either way, it's a virtual safety car still as we get on through into lap 2 now. Let's see if this will result in a full safety car with the Mercedes being out. I'm not sure, but so far they're still holding it as a virtual safety car going through, so no overtaking, and everyone has to decrease the speed at least 40% just to keep it within range at the moment. Okay, so continuing on through, and looks like Tim Lee is out of the session, possibly retired off the session. They were off with the virtual safety car, back on racing again as Kid Petter continues to lead. Guitar Maniac still running in second behind of him and trying to get through this. We got Highways and Mopower though having a very close gap between each other. Let's get on board with the Williams driver right now, see what's going to happen with this, because a pretty good run down the start finish straight into the next lap, into lap 3 now as he gets on through this, and he's going to just decrease that gap just a bit. As you can see, probably down to about 2/10 between them there right about now. Let's switch this back over to tires for the moment and have a look at that as we get on through with the rest of this lap here. We're trying to have a look who has a closer gap getting on through, but down right about in the front of the down with some in the midfield here, we do have some close gaps getting on through. Got Dissection trying to keep up with Mopower out in front of him, possibly just about a second behind right now in the AlphaTauri trying to get on through. Let's see how that's going to work out. Guitar Maniac possibly losing some time out front. Let's have a quick look at this, see what's happening, because so far so good as he gets on through. They're pulling away a bit. That's Kid Petter and Guitar Maniac. They're kind of pulling away from the rest of the grid a bit right about now by about at least 2 to 3 seconds, I assume, or what the gap is. and I think they're going to try to keep it that way, but looks like the Alpine driver here is losing some time to the race leader. He's going to need to try and break the gap back down to just to keep himself within the DRS range, which is going to come online pretty soon, and he's going to have that advantage, but he has to be within a second of the car in front to have the DRS advantage down on track here, and hopefully he's able to get that. We'll see how that works out. Going to try to gain some time as he gets to the start finish straight, going into the next lap, into lap 4. Kitten Pedro, of course, getting the fastest lap so far, 112.7, and that's going to be race pace time going on through so far. Let's see how that drops down as they get further on into the session. Going down to Tono here in 11th right now. He started all the way down at the back of the grid, didn't even get a qualifying lap in, chasing after the Mercedes across their T right now, who's currently P10, and he's going to possibly try to pull this on the inside. Has the inside line right now and trying to keep it there, but not able to get it overtake done. Gets through sector 1. Let's see how he continues on with this. He's keeping a very close gap, looking for another gap to just get by and possibly get this overtake done, but needs to get up another position, trying to get into the points right now. We got a virtual safety car. Something else has happened on track with what possibly one of the other McLarens. Let's have a look right now. And looks like it's with static hazard, not having the best race. We've seen both McLarens involved in incidents since the start of this race, and they're not having the best time getting through. 2 drivers out so far. Tim Lee and Murfola currently out of the session. That's one Aston Martin and one Mercedes out. But we have both Aston Martins having some problems. Tono is now out of the session under the virtual safety car. What's happened to his car is what I'm trying to have a look at. And he's currently out right here somewhere, I think in sector 2. We should be able to have a look at the car coming up on the right-hand side of the track. There is his car stuck on the right-hand side. I'm not sure what happened there. But that Red Bull is currently out of the session. That's 3 drivers now currently out of this session. We're down to 17 remaining to finish off this race. It's a 36 lap race. We're only on lap 4. It's now a full safety car. Due to that this is going to result in some pit stops happening, especially with the midfield as they get on through. But most of these cars have already passed the pit lane entrance, so that's going to be a bit of an issue there for them to deal with. Let's see what happens as they get around here. Will the race leader and Guitar Maniac or the rest of them behind them coming through, will they be doing a pit stop on this upcoming lap, or will they just continue behind the safety car is what the question is going to be at this point. So let's see what happens. It looks like we got a someone was going to off track there a bit for a second. Sorry guys, I was just taking care of something for a second there. Yeah, so let's have a look what's happening under the safety car right now. I'm just waiting to see, are we going to have pit stops happening, as they were already past the pit lane entry when this changed actually from a VSC to a full safety car. So let's see what happens in this case. But yep, unfortunately for the 3 drivers currently out of this race session, we still got 17 drivers remaining, but the McLaren guys have been having not the best of day here at Netherlands. Are having quite an awful race since from the start to this point, not having the best go at it. We already got 1 Mercedes out, 1 Red Bull out, 1 Aston Martin out of the session. The McLaren guys having not the best of. They're all the way at the back of the grid. We'll see what's going to happen in the rest of this. Kitten Pedro and Guitar Maniac Highways, the top 3, have been running in that position right there where they started from the start of this race, so they're not having a bad race start so far. Mo Power Cowboy is running in P4, Dissection however running P5, Reska is now up to 6, got this Gruntled Muppet in 7, Grumpy in 8, Grim Reaper up to 9th, Cross TRT running in 10th. I'm just trying to have a look. Alright, the cars down at the back of the grid, those pit stops are not, so we're still under the safety car and running, and this is going to be happening for another lap or 2 to go before we do resume this race. That is provided the marshals get off all of the debris off track. What happened with that Red Bull, I think there might have been some debris on track with that, which is why it resulted in a full safety car at this point. And as we know, under a safety car, everyone's going to catch back up to the car in front of them and going to be held up there until the race is ready to get back to our rolling start. The safety car is going to go in, we're going to get back restarted. Of course, the guy up front will possibly be able to get the most advantage, depends on how he runs it. Kitten Pedro there, who's been leading from the start of this Dutch Grand Prix, is holding on to the lead in that Ferrari, and he's going to try to keep it going. We got Guitar Maniac in the Alpine just behind him in 2nd place. He's trying to keep that position as much as he can. He wants to get into the lead of this race and possibly hold it there. Might try to get, and there he goes. So safety car is going to be in on this car lap. We're about to go back racing into lap 7. The safety car is going to start to pull away from the Ferrari out in front. He's going to hold back the grid as much as he can. He's going to have control over that, and he's going to be the first one to get back going. Of course, it's going to be absolutely no overtaking until they get across the start finish line. Otherwise, will be deemed a penalty for that. Most likely be a drive-through penalty. Maybe a 5 or 10 second, I'm not sure penalty to give for that. But yep, we can see everybody weaving around the track as much as possible, getting back some temperature into the tires before we get started. We got some penalties being handed out. Silent Banshee and Freeman having collision with each other down in the back there as we get back going here right about now. Let's see what's going to happen. We got an Alfa Romeo having some trouble at the back there. I think that was Highways. He spun around just by the exit of the final turn back onto the start finish straight, and what a point in the race to actually have that happen. I'm not sure if everything's okay on that end with that driver there. We'll see he's down to 9th on the grid right now. He's possibly taking some damage on the car with that car spinning around so much. I'm not sure, but out in front, less than a second is where the gap is, and he's starting to go over a second a bit, just ranging around that point between Kid and Petter and Guitar Maniac. For the lead of the race, Mopao coming just behind, a second behind. Another 7/10 is Dissection there, currently running fourth. Not sure what's happening with the grid order down at the bottom. Is going a bit crazy, so hopefully we'll see what's going to happen. Okay, it's back onto this. So it looks like Dissection is out of the session. We're on with another safety car here right now, trying to figure out what happened to Dissection. Car. I was off the screen for a second here, and unfortunate for that. Looks like that happened somewhere at the start finish rate just before that, before the pit entry there, I think, right where someone else had an issue earlier on. The Highways had an issue, so I'm not sure what's happening around there. Either way, let's have a look what's happening. Who's currently running behind the safety car? So Kid Better here still leading the grid. He's going to get back around and have to follow on behind the safety car. We might see some pit stops happening on this current occasion here. As these guys get around, they're not behind the safety cars yet. They will have to get past the start finish straight before following behind the safety car. So second safety car, I think I've probably lost count of it. I really haven't been keeping track. I know about 2 virtual safety cars, 2 safety cars so far as we've been going through this race. We're on lap 8 only of 36 getting on through. We lost quite a few drivers so far. We're down to 15 drivers remaining out of 20. Let's see what happens by the time we get to the halfway point of this race. Hopefully not going to have any rain. That definitely will change things up quite a bit if it does tend to happen. Got some debris on track there. Marshall's not doing their job. And looks like Kid Petter was thinking about doing a pit stop. Didn't actually go for it though. He's going to continue out in front. We do have a few drivers down the back of the grid getting in. Guitar Maniac, who is currently running in second, is going to get into the pit lane. He's going to have a change of tires. It looks like Disgruntled Muppet in the pits as well. Let's see how many drivers actually decide to do a stop on this occasion. Looks like it's going to be very few, because most of the drivers, I think they're planning on running quite a long stint before doing a stop, trying possibly just pushing for a one-stop strategy at this point in the race. Let's see how things are going to go for them. Let's see how long Kid Petter here is going to push it on the soft tires, which he started the race on. So we have Mopower now up into second place on the grid running. We got Reska now running in third. Grumpy now running in fourth. We got Grim Reaper up into fifth. Highways now run sixth. Krusty T runs seventh. Silent Banshee up into eighth. Freeman now up into ninth. I think he started 11th on the grid. DDL running 10th. We got Guitar Maniac in 11th now after taking his stop. B7 racing down to 12. We got Disgruntled Muppet took a stop. He's in 13. Static Hazard in 14th, and we got Cobain running 15th. Now, interesting enough, even though the McLaren drivers have not been having the best of start in terms of the first few opening laps of this race, they're still running in the race, which is what is actually great to see at this point, because we got 5 drivers out and they're still in it. Both McLarens are still in it right now. We got one of them in the top 10. And I think Static Hazard is still going to try and get himself up there as well. Let's see if both McLarens are going to be able to finish this race, which is going to be interesting to see. Both of them can actually gain some points at the end of this, even though they've had a pretty bad start to the first quarter of the race going through so far. So Mopao in a pretty good position though now. Cup running up into second. Still got some debris on track there. These marshals really not doing the job. Not sure how the race is going to get back going if they don't get those things off track. We got Rescue still running third. Let's see what's going to happen. We got, I think, Reefer into the pits. That's the Aston Martin driver there. His teammate Tim Lee out of the session currently. Unfortunate for that. So it's still going to continue on the safety car. Possibly at the end of this lap, we might just be able to get back racing. Let's see what the situation is going to be. Okay, so yeah, so still going on through with lap 10 right about now. We got another 26 lap of racing left to go still. Hopefully the second half of this race does not have so many safety cars in. So we have the safety cars going to go in on this current lap right about to get back racing here. Let's see how well that restart is going to go after this safety car goes in. We got Kitten Pedro leading the grid once again. He's going to hold everyone back in that Ferrari. Of course, you got Mopao behind of him this time. We got Reska running in third at the moment here. Grumpy in fourth. Highways in fifth. Let's see how these guys deal on the restart. Everyone pretty close together getting through on this, so this might be a bit more interesting. That Ferrari is going to try to pull away from the Williams as fast as he can getting through, and he's already going. Has a bit of a gap over a second already as he gets by going. The Red Bull of Reska chasing after it. Oh, we got a Red Bull into the barriers, losing it right where Highways lost it before. I think he had a bit of an issue there as well because he's stuck somewhere in the back of the grid. So what happened there, I'm not sure. This might be another safety car we'll be looking at here just after getting started with the one. It looks like the Alpine of Freeman, and I think someone else who's fighting for a position there. Silent Banshee in front of him. Pretty close gap between them. Still a yellow flag situation down in the back of the grid there. We have Highways into the pits, I think, or is he not? I'm not even sure. We got, but we do. I'm trying to follow on with and there goes the Alpine of, I think, Guitar Maniac. That was. He is now possibly out of the session fully there because I think he lost. Nope, my bad. It wasn't him. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, that was Freeman in the Alpine. He's lost his entire suspension on the left side, so he's definitely out of this race. This is potentially either a VSC or another safety car we're looking at. But it just depends because it is at the side of the track as everyone gets back through here. It's a yellow flag situation currently in that sector of the track. That's sector 1. Let's get back out in front with our race leader right about now. So Kitten Pedro continues to lead. It's just a yellow flag situation. Mopar running second. Grumpy running third. Crustier running in fourth. Guitar Maniac running at 10th behind Crustier right now. Silent Banshee just behind him that, trying to get a slipstream move done into turn 1. And looks like he might just be able to do this. To be set and racing another 2.17 seconds behind. So he's not able to catch up as yet. But let's follow on with this three here. Crustier and the Mercedes in front. And we got Guitar Maniac trying to hold off for a position on the inside of the next turn. Let's see if he's able to get this done. Forces the Mercedes just a bit wide, but still holds on to side by side. Looks like he is up into second. Now gets up into the lead. Or I think the leaderboard just going a bit crazy. Let's just forget that for a second. So leaderboard going a bit crazy. Already up to the 9th. As those two just behind him are going to fight for positions now. Let's see how well that's going between them. So Silent Banshee still about 3/10 behind all of this. Guitar Maniac has gained a position. He's up into 5th. Crustier running in 6th now. Banshee down into 7th. Freeman out of the session, obviously, when we saw early on. Not sure why his car took so long to get off the session there. So at the moment, as we have it, we got a bit of contact between the McLaren there, or someone, I think that was Static, and someone else I possibly think it was, possibly disgruntled Muppet there. See how this battle is going on down at the back here with these few cars. We got some cars into the pits here as well. I think our leaderboard might just be getting a bit crazy right now on the Grim Reaper as he gets through up into 6th right about now because I think some pit stops are happening. Do we have a car stuck on track there? I think we do. And I think that's Silence Banshee's car. And that incident has happened on the So I'm right where the pit entry is, so this is a bit strange. Why is this not see if it's gonna allow us to go back to it once again. I think it's finally got rid of the car, maybe not even sure what's happening. Leaderboard is getting all crazy right about now. They're waiting for that to sort itself back through. See who is currently out in front and running here. Okay, so back on again. Let's see, we got some pit stops happening under the safety car. I think it took a while to actually bring up the safety car after that incident on the start finish right there with Silent Banshee's incident. I'm not sure what happened. We have quite a few incidents happening through this race session so far. Probably our third safety car which we're on right about now. First half of the race only still. I'm getting through this. Let's see who is currently leading. It looks like Mopao currently leading out in front in the Williams, is it? Yep, it is. So he's currently running behind the safety car. Kid Better pitted, and he's now running second. Even after a pit stop, he's now on the hard. He's going to go to the end of the race. He's now down to third, though. Guitar Maniac getting back up into second place right where he started in the race. So Kid Better down to third. Crosstier T running Mercedes running fourth. We got Reefer in the Aston Martin running fifth. Got Grumpy in 6th right now. His teammate leading the race at the moment behind the safety car. B7 Racing in 7th. This runs on Muppet running 8th. Highways down to 9th. McLaren's running 10th and 11th. They're still in this at the moment and still getting it. We're down to 12 drivers. Both McLaren still running in this. I want to see if they're able to finish the race as it is there right now. Cobain in the Haas running in 12th. We might just be finishing this race with less than half of the grid, just depending on how the rest of this race is going to go. Let's see what's going to happen in that case though. But at the moment, not looking so good for some of these drivers who seem to be having seem to be struggling a bit with the track. Not sure if it's about setups with these cars or what's happening. I know there was a few changes made with some of the updates that have been recently added on to the game as well, in terms of performance and you know, a few other things. So this might just be explaining what's happening here, with drivers adjusting to the game as it was before and then having to readjust back to the settings after the updates were made as well. Could just explain a few things about why we're having so many incidents happening getting through the session. Of course, drivers are losing the rear end of the cars. A lot of oversteer on some of these cars, depending on what settings you're running. Some probably giving a bit of understeer as well, getting through some of the turns. Just mostly that last turn there is where some of these things tend to happen. Thanks to Dennis for liking the stream. I think that was on Facebook. Yeah, so we do have some issues still happening with the game. I haven't seen my leaderboard gone way too crazy today. Are we having rain? I think I just saw a bit of a drizzle on track. I'm not sure if it was rain or not. I'm just going to go on board to the Williams here. Let's see if we're having rain. That's possibly going to make it a bit interesting going down to the end, because it's still looking quite a bit cloudy on track. Not sure if we can have any rain. 12 drivers in this to finish it off. Let's see, we should be going back racing at the end of this current lap, hopefully here into lap 16. And yep, we'll see what happens in that case. We got Antonio following us on Twitch there now. Thank you very much for doing that as well. Alright, just switch this back to the red. I'm not seeing any rain. I thought I was seeing some rain for a second. Would have been a bit interesting as well. So Mopa was leading out the front. Doesn't look like he's done a pit stop so far. He's running 14 laps on those mediums, which means that's the same set of tires he started the race on. Has not taken a stop to switch tires as yet. We'll have to take at least one stop. We'll see what's going to happen with that. Guitar Maniac running in second. He's taken a stop so far. Kit Better running third. Has taken a stop onto Fresh Hearts. He's going to go all the way to the end of the race on that set. So planning a one-stop strategy on this. We got Crosstier T running fourth at the moment. 14 laps on his Hearts. And I think he started the race on that as well, didn't he? I think so. Grim Reaper there in fifth on the Hearts. 5 laps done. Did take a stop before. So some of the drivers have really running with a two-stop strategy. Some running 3, just depending on what's happened in the session so far. Looks like we're doing just one more lap under the safety car before we get back started here. A lot of debris on track, and the marshal is working quite a bit slow in terms of getting all of that cleared up for us to continue on with the race. Like I said, continuing on with this, we did not, of course, get the results to for the previous races to upload to have you guys have a look at standings as it is. I'll have to do that on the next occasion, getting on through. Sorry about that. So we're gonna have to work without that. I could call it up, but I usually like having up on screen, so we're gonna leave that be for the moment. So let's see what's gonna happen with these drivers who have not taken a stop so far, which I think is possibly just 2 of them. Let's have a look at pit stops. So yeah, so we have 2 drivers who have not taken stops so far. That's gonna be Cross Tier TMO Power, who's currently leading. And in terms of penalties, we are nobody currently with a penalty. All has been served through on pit stops, even though we had 2 drivers with penalty before, and there is safety cars going to be on this lap. But 5-second penalties, guys, they can serve that during a pit stop. They just have to stay stationary, and the pit crew is not allowed to work on the car for 5 seconds. And of course, 5 seconds is not going to feel like 5 seconds on an F1 pit stop. So does still hurt them in terms of the race. I get back to tires here and see how the rest of the session is going to get on through. Waiting for these guys to get back started. That Williams out in front is going to be leading everyone. He's going to be the first one to get back going around that final turn. Let's see if we're going to have any incidents after the restart as he gets back going. Guitar Maniac chasing after him and trying to have a look for having anything happen down in the back of the grid. We got Guitar Maniac and Kitten Pedro though going side by side into turn 1 possibly, and Mercedes trying to come around to them, so they're holding back to the racing line, still holding on through on this. Gadi Alpin loses a position there, so he's down to 3rd. Of course, being under threat from the Mercedes behind now, so needs to be a bit careful with this as he continues on through. Got a 4-10 gap with Reefer and Cluster T there for 4th as well, so pretty close gaps as we got started. Moko out in front, leading by 1.1 seconds, and he's got a pretty interesting lead as he gets on through back with the restart. They're on to lap 17 currently. We got Highways gaining a position on P7 Racing. He's up into 7, 3/10 gap. Still going to try to extend that lead, and which I think he is actually doing right about now. Out in front though, Moko losing a bit of time right now. Getting better, catching up. He's now within 9/10 of that car, so gonna get into the DRS zone and keep it there, and gonna have that advantage once DRS is back online, provided we're not gonna have any rain come through in this race session. We'll see what's gonna happen with that. Gap going and coming a bit out in front though, between 1 second less and above. We'll see what's happening. Guitar Maniac running still around 9/10 behind, getting better. He's trying to keep it up with them as much as he can, going through to the next lap. Let's have a look here. Someone's going a bit wide. Reefer gets a position up on the Mercedes. He's down by 2 positions. Grumpy's up into P5 now as well. They're gonna try and go side by side, possibly into the next turn. So Krusty's gonna try to get it back. He's around the outside of the Williams, not gonna be able to push on through for that overtake though, just a bit too far behind. Does have some trouble coming behind of him though. We got Highways in the Alfa Romeo. He's going to chase after him and possibly try to get his overtake done with, running on same set of hard tires as well, but of course he's on fresher hard. Down in 6 laps only. Cross Tier T has done 17 laps on that set of tires so far, so going to have a bit of an disadvantage against the Alfa Romeo driver behind. Let's see how long he's able to actually hold on to P5, sorry, to P6 and go on through with this. Out and oh, we got someone into the walls. That is Highways having some problems there, and this might be a VSC. Let's see, the depends if he's blocking the track or not. Maybe you have a full safety car for that there. Trying to have a look if we can about it here, but I don't think we're going to be able to have a look. There was this car at the side of the track. Quite a bad incident. Did catch a bit of it as we were going on through that lap there. Unfortunate for Highways. I think he just lost the rear end of the car. Might be a bit of oversteer, I'm not sure, as they get on through some of these turns. It just depends on the setups of the car as well. So really difficult to tell what's been causing all the incidents. We're now down to 11 drivers remaining, and we're at that halfway point, and we've lost almost half of the drivers in the session so far. So let's see what happens on the second half of the race, which I think it should be able to go through well, but we'll see what's going to happen. Going to result in maybe some pit stops here. We'll see what's going to happen. Moko out in front has not done a pit stop as yet. Might want to think about doing one around this point here. He's done 18 laps on those mediums. He might just be pushing for a few more laps on them to possibly get onto a set of softs to go to the end of the race. We'll see if that's what the case is, because he's still running out in front. He's still leading the race. I'm not sure what percentage of wear is on those tires so far, but they do look good from this angle so far, because even the rears are not looking too bad. So he's been pretty good with tire management so far in the race. He's holding on the lead pretty much, going on through behind the safety car so far as it is. So I think he's probably going to wait a few more laps after the safety car is over. Maybe around lap 24, 25. He might be doing a stop somewhere around there. and then going on to a new set of soft tires, which he's going to push all the way to the end. He's going to have that extended grip and be able to get some faster lap times in and hopefully gain back the positions that he loses after taking a stop. He's going to go somewhere possibly in the midfield. We'll see how much further down the field he's going to go. But he is going to have to wait just a bit after the safety car goes in to take that stop, because everyone is kind of bunched up right about now. Just a few seconds behind each other at the moment. I think only Static Hazard there in 10th is about a minute and a half behind the rest of the guys there. Got one McLaren up into the top 10 already. Static Hazard still in the top 10 as well. We got Mopao. No, he's not going into the pits. He was thinking about it. I think he was just trying to trick Kid Petter behind of him. He wanted Ferrari to think that he was going in the pits, possibly to follow him in, and he switched out of it on the last second. And he's going to continue on racing on those same mediums for now. Running on about 3 to 4 safety cars, so he's saving quite a bit on those tires as well, as they're not running up to full race pace at the moment. So let's see how the rest of this race is going to go on through. We're currently on lap 20. We're possibly going to have that safety car go in at the end of this lap, and we should be able to get back racing with 11 drivers of 20 remaining in the session so far. Okay, so about to get back restarted here right about now. Safety car already getting away back into the pits. We got the Williams out in front holding back grid, about to get back going here. So let's see how well it goes with him and the Ferrari chasing after him. Was a pretty good run down that start finish. So he's going to get it into turn 1, possibly try to take it on the inside on the braking zone. Let's see if he actually gets it done. No contact between them so far, as they still try to fight it off for that lead, but Mopar holds it out in front. And we get the Alpine of Guitar Mania coming just behind him, that 4 tenths behind. So he has a pretty close gap to keep up with these two out in front. Still trying to fight for the lead, so let's see what's going to happen. Guitar Mania started second in the grid. He's trying to fight his way back up right about now. 11 laps on the set of mediums that he currently has. Let's see if he's going to do another stop, which I think he will. Doing a stop going onto the set of medium softs, possibly to go to the end of this race. We'll see what's going to happen, because I think he's only done one stop so far. Getting better though, still holding on to second place and still keeping the gap under 5 tenths, which is pretty good at this point. So DRS advantage, when it does come back online, will help him out a bit in terms of trying to get an overtake done against Mopawa out in front, who has not pitted since the race started. 20 laps on those mediums, and he's still running strong out in front, keeping a 5-10 gap against a Ferrari running behind of him on 6 lap all on those hard tires. So still quite an achievement at this point in the session, and he's trying to hold on through. His teammate Grumpy running in 5th has about 7 tenths to the car behind, and about another 7 tenths to the car in front of him. So let's see how that's going to work out. Into the next lap, we can see the Williams pulling all the way to the right side of the track, trying to keep the Ferrari out of his slipstream. Worked pretty well, because it's still about a 5-10 gap. Kid Petter did not gain anything through that start-finish run, which we would expect him to gain through. Guitar Maniac running still about 7-8 tenths behind. Cobain out of the session, and now down to just 10 drivers remaining in the session. And he possibly might have retired in the pits. I'm not even sure at that point what happened there. Six-10 gap is currently have, so Mopo starting to pull away. Surprisingly enough, starting to pull away a bit from the Ferrari behind. And let's see if that's going to continue going on through disgruntled. Mopo there in 8th. A 5-10 gap is what he currently has. I want to see if he's able to reduce that gap at any point, or if it's going to just stay as it is there right now. But so far going, the Williams out in front still leading pretty strong, and as we said, I think he's waiting, possibly he's waiting a lap or two more, and then might switch from those mediums to a set of softs to go to the end. I think he's trying to extend a bit of a lead to the other cars down on the grid before doing that stop. So he might just wait maybe until even lap 28 Let's see how much he's able to push this. And yep, he's trying to keep the Ferrari out of his slipstream, not working too well. DRS is going to be online from this current lap onwards. And of course, Caden Petter is currently within the DRS range, going to have that advantage. And he might have a better chance of getting this overtake done against Mopar Wendy Williams in front. Let's see if that's going to work out though. We're still following on through with a disgruntled Muppet there. 310 gap to the car in front, and there's a Mercedes in front of him, I believe there. He's trying to get an overtake done down at the back of the grid. Let's see if that's going to work for him or not, because a 210 gap is what he's down to right now. Trying to reduce that down to below a 110th. Trying to follow on behind Mopar here. And get on board with the Ferrari just to see how well this is actually going with these two. And we got disgruntled Muppet disqualified from the race right about now for going the wrong way on track. Not sure if that's actually happened there or not, or what happened, but he's currently out. That leaves us with only 9 drivers remaining right now. Alright, so going into lap 24 right about now, on the start-finish straight, got some DRS advantage, and the Ferrari's going to pull alongside the Williams. Let's see if he gets the overtake done. Actually does look like he's going to get it, and the Williams and Mopar tries to outbrake him just a bit, but doesn't actually get to hold on to the lead of the race. He loses that down to second. Guitar Mania coming behind of him. He's going to have the DRS advantage against the Ferrari now to try and get back to position on the upcoming lap. Let's see if that's going to be the case, or he's going to have to just hold on to second. If the Ferrari holds out in front, and he might want to start thinking about doing that stop to go on to a set of soft tires to push the end of the race with. Let's see if that's going to be the case or not. Mopar, of course, started quite a bit down on the grid order, so has gained quite a few positions to be up here in second and running at the moment. Guitar Maniac, who started second, is down to third and running. He's looking to get a position when that Williams does do a pit stop. And we do have Caden Petter out in front, who did start in the lead. Mopar starting to have some trouble with those tires there, as we can see him getting a bit on the gravel through some of these turns. As the Alpine of Guitar Maniac chasing after him to go into the next. Oh, there we go. So he's going to go into the pits now. Not going to take the chance of losing another position on track. So he's possibly going to be going onto a set of soft tires. Let's see how much positions he is going to be losing as he gets back out on track. Some of these drivers might have to do another stop before this race is over. So let's see what's going to happen with that case there. So he's getting back out. Currently 7th on the grid. Got 2 more drivers to catch up to him, but he should be able to hold on to P7 for now. And he's going to have to try and gain some ground in the remaining 11 laps of this race session here. Let's have a look at position changes so far in the session that we had here. So Grim Reaper seems to have gained the most so far. He's up to 3rd on the grid. No penalties with any driver currently left running, and he's 11th position gained by Grim Reaper. Of course, same game by Krusty T, but he's down into 6th. B7 Racing down to 8, gain the same as well. So looks like Grim Reaper looking pretty good at possibly taking driver of the day here. We got Caden Petter and Guitar Maniac right where they started in the race P1, P2. So I don't think the two of them are going to be disappointed about that at this point. But they're going to have to try to keep it there going to the end of the race. Let's see if that's going to be the case or not. Guitar Maniac at 2.6 seconds behind the Ferrari, who is having a pretty good run out in front. Racing by himself with a bit of a gap to work with, so I don't think he's going to be too disappointed about that. If a safety car comes anytime soon, I think he might get a bit unhappy about that, because that's going to mean him possibly losing that lead, because cars behind of him will be able to catch up and get pretty close by, and we might have to end up taking another stop if cars do decide to take a stop there as well. But of course, him leading the race is going to be a bit dependent on the cars behind, because cars are going to be watching if he takes a stop to whether follow him in for a pit stop or not. Leading the race can sometimes be a disadvantage in terms of going to a safety car and trying to decide if you're going to do a pit stop or not, because if you don't do a pit stop and the rest of the grid does, they will have that advantage after the race does restart, because they will be able to catch up before the safety car goes back in. So they have to take a lot of different things into account here if another safety car is going to be happening in the session. 9 drivers only currently remain though, so let's see what the case is going to be going down to the end. A bit of a gap starting to form between most of our drivers as we currently have Grim Reaper and Grumpy here. It's about just a 1.4 second, and DDL another 1.2 second, and the McLaren behind. And as we said earlier, McLaren not having the best of starts, but both of them running in the top 10. We only have 9 drivers remaining, but they're still running in this race, so both of them looking at getting points. We now have Guitar Maniac taking another pit stop, so he's going to get onto a set of soft tires. That's going to put a few drivers up positions here, and let's see what's going to happen. Mopao is still running there in 7th after taking his stop. Lost the lead to Kid Better there, but didn't want to lose 2nd place to Guitar Maniac, and Guitar Maniac is now behind of him after taking his stop, so he's up into 6th now in the Williams and running. Now a pretty close gap to the Mercedes of Crusty T in front of him. He's trying to get past him already. On those soft tires, going to have that advantage. Of course, mediums on Crusty T's car and only 7 laps on them, so still quite a bit of grip to work with there, but we still got quite a bit of time left in this session here as we get on through. Let's have a look on board with the Williams and see if he's able to get that overtake done. Might just be happening on the start finish straight, if not around this portion of the track here, because currently getting into sector 2 now. He might just be holding this off until he gets around to that start finish straight. One of the best possible positions on track where you're able to get an overtake done. So let's see what's going to happen, because he's going to have the DRS advantage along with the slipstream to work with, and he actually gets the overtake done before they get there. He's side by side with the Mercedes, gets by up into 5th, Crusty down to 6th with that. Guitar Maniac follows him through as well, so on those fresh soft tires is working pretty well for him, so he's now up into 6th as Mopao follows out in front in 5th. 7 seconds is what the gap is to DDL and McLaren in P4. Let's see if he's able to catch up in the next 3 to 4 laps or so, possibly trying to get this car to finish on the podium position. Oh, and there we go. Mopao losing control of the car. He loses the rear thing, tries to get it back going, and he's trying not to take damage here right now. He's now down back to 7th, so he's lost out quite a bit here, and lost a lot of time there as well, along with a position. B7 Racing and Static Cars are quite a bit back, so they're not able to catch up that quickly as yet. When they go ahead now, the Grumpy here in the Williams, the next Williams running in P3. Both Williams still running in this race, so great to see that. And Grumpy is trying to keep this car in a podium position. 1.2 seconds is what his gap is to Grim Reaper, currently running in 2nd in the Aston Martin. So I think he's trying to keep that going. Out in front though, Kitten Petter, they're getting a bit of a gap going against Grim Reaper in 2nd. So 9.6 seconds, a lot of time to actually catch up with. See if he's able to actually keep that going. DDL and McLaren still running in P4. Okay, so back onto this. So still on with the McLaren here running in P4 at the moment. So still about a 7-10 gap, which is what it is. He's closing in this. Yesterday, it's still getting a bit more cloudy on track. I'm really wondering if there's going to be any drizzle coming down to the end of this race here. Alright, so the gap down here just below a second right now. Should be able to have some DRS advantage, hopefully. Let's bring that online actually. I'll have a look at the telemetry as I get on through with the final 6.5 laps that we currently have. About 6 laps now we have remaining here as we're about to get into lap 31. Out in front though, that Ferrari getting quite a bit of a lead against the Aston Martin of Reefer there. He's down in 2nd by 10.4 seconds. Grumpy there still trying to catch up 1.4 seconds and hopefully not going to be able to lose a podium position to the McLaren here, who's really trying to get this car up there. Not having the best start, but still trying to hold on to some points and trying to get some more if he can here. 1.3 second gap is what it is. He's trying to get it back under a second to keep himself in the DRS advantage. Losing out a bit on that right now. Guitar Maniac running P5. Mopao after his spin down back to 7th. Was supposed to be running somewhere around P5 at least by now. Unfortunate for that bit of spin, but he's lost that position. He's down there 3.6 seconds behind the Mercedes, so he's going to try to catch up as much as he can. Getting better out in front, gaining quite a lot of time right about now on those hard tires, so they seem to be working well on the track. on lap 30 of 36, getting on through. Gaps getting just a bit constant between Grumpy, DDL, and Guitar Maniac so far. 1.5 seconds between most of them. I think Guitar Maniac has a bit more time, double that time to catch 3.2 seconds as it is. I think he's still trying to catch up, but not possibly going to be able to do this by the end of the race, as we're down to about 5.5 laps remaining now. Trying to see what our closest gap is going to be. I think Mopo down the back here is 1.3 seconds now behind the Mercedes, so he's closing in his gap pretty quickly, possibly looking at getting back up into P6. Only 8 drivers remaining, of course nobody with a penalty, so that's actually good to see at this point. We now have a gap of within a second between these two, so definitely Mopo and the Williams possibly trying to get back up into 6th place here before getting across the finish line on lap 36. So we'll see if he's actually able to pull that off. It looks like B7 Racing and Static Hazard are out of the race, unfortunately. Looks like B7 Racing went out just somewhere in sector 2. So I'm not sure what happened to him. They possibly lost the car because had a bit of a gap to both cars in front and behind. Static Hazard, I'm not sure where his car went off, or possibly just happened in the just retired in the pits. Got the Williams here going up into 6th, still fighting side by side with the Mercedes for this. Custody in P7 still running here. See where his race is actually going on through in the Mercedes. Okay, back on to this, a finish of the final 2.5 laps. We got Guitar Maniac about a 10th between him and DDL in the McLaren in front. I think these two might be fighting off for P4 going to the end of the race. I'm not sure if either of them are going to be able to possibly get onto a podium position. Grumpy holding on to that pretty well and has the lead for 1.3 seconds against the McLaren. So let's see what happens between these two before the race comes to an end. And we're getting a true into sector 3 here right now. So we're about to get into lap 35 pretty soon. Out in front, Caden Petro still leads quite a big lead. He currently has 15.7 seconds at the moment and just got fast lap once again. Grimmy for still running in second. Grumpy running third. DDL running in fourth and Guitar Mania currently in fifth, chasing after DDL to possibly get another position up if he can back onto the start finish route as they're about to get into lap 35. Let's see if he gets an advantage. Has the DRS advantage using all the ERS he has. He's going to take it on the inside of the McLaren and possibly get an overtake done. The McLaren trying to outbrake him though, but the Alpine gets up the position. He's up into P4, 1 second behind Grumpy in the Williams out in front. So this is going to be interesting to see who finishes off the next lap and possibly gets another overtake down here if he can. Gap is now within a second, might be able to have that DRS advantage. Let's see how it works. Not a lot of ERS left on that car though. I think Grumpy's in. Grumpy does have quite a bit of ERS to work with as he's been saving up just in case this possibly didn't happen on the final 2 laps, which it actually has. So let's see what's going to happen. DDL still chasing after these two. He's about 8 tenths behind Guitar Maniac. Still he's 8 tenths towards the Williams in front. So he's going to try to keep that gap as much as he can. Possibly try to get an overtake done into lap 36 into turn 1, and let's see if he's able to keep it there. Does have the DRS advantage. He's trying to keep it as close as he can right now. Keep better, of course, getting the fastest lap again into the next final lap of this race as he now goes into lap 36, waiting for these guys to enter through into that. And a 5-10 gap. Let's go on board right about now with the Alpine driver. Let's see if he closes in the gap and going into the next and final turn, time into turn 1, and looks like he's going to close it quite a bit. Not able to get it done though. He's pushing as much as he can, trying to bring it back on the inside. Not enough room to actually get it done. He's going to push on through a bit side by side. They're almost going to go, but still has to hold on to that position as it is there right now. Gonna have a look when our race leader comes back around. And he's already into sector 2, almost getting into sector 3 right about now. 3:10 gap between these two as they fight all the way to the end of this final lap here for the Dutch Grand Prix. And looks like it might just be Kevin Better taking a win for this. Started P1 and kept leading for most of the laps, and he's gotten back his lead. He's still now into sector 3, getting around the final turn there right about now. Should be able to get across the line in just a bit. I think we're trying to follow on with that. So let's have a quick look at him as he gets around. Gonna get across the line, and he takes a win for the Dutch Grand Prix here for Midwest F1 Division 4. Not a bad win for him. A pretty good race, pretty good qualifying lap as he had there as well. 19 seconds behind this, we got Grim Reefer and Aston Martin coming around the final turn, and he's gonna get across the line to take second place on the podium for this race. Grumpy 6 tenths behind this, and he's coming through as well, along with Guitar Maniac. They're behind it by 3 tenths as they all get through, and I think penalty is what came into play there a bit, because Grim Reefer now down to 4th. Grumpy takes second on the podium. Guitar Maniac finishes third on the podium. Grim Reefer down to 4th. DDL gets across, take 5th in the McLaren. At least one McLaren finishing off the race. Mopower takes 6th, unfortunately, and Crostier T will finish 7th as he gets across the line on the next lap. There we go. So he finishes off either way there. I think it's about 6 drivers currently. I think we have finished off that race. Let's have a look at the result. Driver of the day goes to B7 Racing. Didn't finish the race though, so not sure how that works out with the league there. Also that true with the stewards as either way. Alright, so Ferrari for the winner. So race win here for round 5 Midwest F1 Esports goes to Kid Better there for the Ferrari. And not a bad with him. Fastest lap as well goes to him at 1:11.6 in that race. Grumpy takes 2nd place on the podium. We got Guitar Maniac finishing 3rd on the podium there as well, along with the guys. Grimriver, who got across the line 2nd, had to take 4th. And I think that's due to some sort of penalty possibly happening, or maybe as a glitch, I'm not sure. They'll sort that out in the stewards room. We got DDL taking 5th, Mopower takes 6th, and Crostier T takes 7. B7 Racing got driver today. Didn't get to finish the race though, as it was. And I think that's going to be it there, guys, for the session. The rest of the drivers did not, unfortunately, get to finish the session there. So do have a look on the channel. IG8Live Esports, guys, see when we got next race scheduled to go. It should be on there. If not, have a look on in the Discord. You guys should be able to see that. Thank you guys for joining on the stream. I'll see you guys on the next session.